Mr. Tibbs, how are you today?
I'm doing all right, thank you. How are you?
Wonderful. Great. My name is Trenton Hill. I'm your physical therapist today.
Okay.
So, do you have a preference as to what I call you, Mr. Tibbs?
I actually go by Sam.
You go by Sam?
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful. I'd love to call you by your first name if you're all right with that.
Yes, sir.
So, great. Well, what is it that brings you in here today, Sam?
Well, probably just old age. But beyond that, I definitely have been feeling, I don't know, just kind of out of sorts. Doctor thought it might be a good idea for me to come speak with a physical therapist to see if perhaps there was something you can do to help me get basically a little bit stronger, maybe make sure my balance is okay. I'm just not feeling quite myself, kind of just weak all the time. And, 76, I still could have another 20 years left to take care of myself. So
For sure. Well, I understand that can be really difficult and, even a bit of a scary situation, and we're here to help you. We can definitely help you, and if I understand you correctly, major goals, major reasons you're here is to help with balance, help you, get some strength back, overall just help you get back to feeling like you were a few years ago and help you get doing things that you like to do.
That'd be great.
Great. Well, let me just, get a little bit of information from you. When's your birthday?
It's in 1934,
Okay.
January 2nd.
Wow. You just had your birthday then. That's awesome. So if my math's right, 71 years old, is that correct?
6, actually.
76.
But I might have been doing my math wrong. Again, old age.
No problem. Great. Well, so you mentioned, wanting to get stronger and, get back to some of the things that you do. What are some of those things that you like to do?
Well, not as much these days, but I do enjoy heading out to the range and shooting. I got a number of different firearms that I enjoy shooting, rifles, handguns, those types of things, and used to enjoy hunting quite a bit.
Good. That's awesome. And do you feel limited at all in performing those activities by your situation?
I actually do. I know recently I've definitely felt like I'm just getting exhausted or definitely fatigued after just 3 or 4 minutes, with the pistol, and in target practice you have to hold your arms up.
Sure,
I
sure.
just find that I just get too weak.
Okay, awesome. Well, we can definitely work on that with you.
Okay.
That's great. Thanks for giving me that information. So, are you currently employed?
No, I'm actually
Good.
retired.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy for you then. What was it that you did for work?
I worked for H&R Block as an accountant.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I've received some great help from H&R Block.
I'm glad to hear that.
Great returns on my taxes. Thanks to you. Well, that's great. So, do you currently live in a house or in an apartment?
I do. I live in a home. My wife and I lived in the same house for 40 years.
Wow.
Yep. Raised our kids there and saw them all growing up, and yep, still there.
That's great. So, does anybody else live there with you besides your spouse?
No, just the two of us.
Just the two of you. Great. And how is your spouse doing? How is her health?
She's doing all right. She's having some issues of her own, with memory loss. So kind of forgetful, but otherwise she's pretty healthy.
Good. Well, if ever you feel like she could benefit by some of the things that we're doing here in therapy, we'd love to help her as well. And maybe she can even be an exercise buddy to you.
Hey.
You guys can get active together. That's always helpful to have somebody to help you with.
If it works, we'll try it.
That's great. Good. So are you able to drive?
I stopped driving a few years ago.
Okay.
Kind of family decision.
Yeah. Sure.
But I'm lucky. My daughter lives nearby and gets me and my wife to most places.
Good. That's wonderful. Will she be able to help you get to appointments here?
I think so. Yeah. She brought me here today.
Oh, great. Awesome. Back to your house. Are there stairs or things that concern you in your home that make it difficult to get around?
Not really. But the stairs, to be honest, due to, like I said, I've had a couple of falls, and one of them was on the stairs, not all the way down the stairs, but
Good.
Involved some stairs where I kind of just lost my balance, and so I'm lucky where most things that we use around the house are on the first floor. I don't need to go upstairs more, but my daughter's house does have some stairs, and I'd like to feel more confident about going up and down there.
Yeah, well, you may have noticed when you came in, we've got that flight of stairs in the back there that we like to use as part of therapy.
Great.
So we'll get plenty of practice on the stairs for you.
If you help.
Awesome. Great. Well, do you have a habit or a history of smoking?
I wouldn't say it was so much a habit, but I do enjoy a cigar from time to time, but never really cared much for smoking cigarettes.
Okay. All right. And how about drinking alcohol?
I do enjoy a glass of wine, probably once a day, but only if it's the finest wine.
Okay. All right. Okay. And any other alcohol outside of the wine daily?
No, not typically.
Okay.
Can't remember.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about your past medical history. Are there things that I should be aware of as your therapist?
I did have a heart attack.
Okay.
About 15 years ago.
All right.
And then coronary artery bypass graft about 12 years ago.
Wow.
To kind of address some of those related issues. Of course, I've got the hypertension and, diagnosed with diabetes some time back.
Okay.
So while I do have those, I've got some medication.
Okay, so then how often are you taking the medication?
Oh, as prescribed.
Okay.
I definitely follow doctor's orders. And I've been doing pretty well. Last checkup, blood pressure was pretty good, and as well as haven't had any incidents with the diabetes.
Oh, good. All right. Well, keep taking those medications and stay up on that. It would be really important that we keep those things under control, especially as we're exercising and things like that. And hopefully, the exercise will be able to help your diabetes as well, and keep that more in point.
No.
All right. Great.
That's pretty good.
How active are you, Sam?
I haven't been very active lately, especially through this weakness. And since retirement, kind of stay around the house and definitely watch after the wife.
Good. Okay. All right. Well, we'll be getting you up and going a little bit more in here, and I think that will be really helpful for you. Have you had any recent lab or diagnostic tests done when you went to the doctor? Anything like that?
I think my vitals were all right. Because I've been taking my prescriptions, and I do remember that my doctor said I had a pretty safe BMI.
Oh, wow.
Whatever that is.
Yeah. What do you remember what your BMI was?
I do, because it's my daughter's birthday.
Really?
Yeah, 27th of January, so it was 27.1.
Wow, that's great. What a memory you have. It's good to know. Well, thanks for that information. So you mentioned, the falls and the general weakness and things. Do you feel like the weakness, does it ever cause pain? On a daily basis, are you suffering from pain of any kind?
Nah, I'm pretty lucky in that regard. Pretty pain-free.
So, if you were to rate it on a scale, 0 being no pain and 10 being I need to go to the emergency room right now, how would you rate your pain?
Probably a 1.
A 1.
I got some aches and pains,
yeah.
But nothing that I even complain about.
Okay. All right. Good to know. All right. Well, we've been, gone through some of those important history questions and things. I just want to go ask you a few more questions regarding your overall body function right now. Make sure that things are safe before we proceed with our evaluation and start some physical therapy for you. So, have you had any episodes or recent lightheadedness, any chest pain, anything like that?
No, not really. I don't know what happens when I fall.
Yeah,
exactly,
sure.
but I don't recall any lightheadedness necessarily or chest pain.
And you mentioned that your doctor said your vitals are pretty good as long as you're staying on your medication.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, we'll continue to check those as you come in and make sure that they're on par before we start exercising each day. But that's good to hear. How about your skin? You mentioned diabetes. Any wounds or things that are struggling to heal?
No, I take extra special care of my feet, and
Okay.
so that's
Good.
the last thing I want is any of those open wounds or anything like that. But, so no.
Great, wonderful. How about strength? You mentioned some weakness. Do you have any range of motion? Any limbs that you aren't able to extend fully? Anything that you're concerned about there?
Shoulders are a little tight, but my main concern is the weakness, or lack of stamina, I guess.
Gotcha. Makes sense. And how about, we've mentioned falls. We're going to work on balance,
Okay.
coordination with you.
Okay.
Do you feel like you have a fear of falling?
Yeah, I definitely have a bit of a fear of falling now,
Yeah.
It's always kind of in the back of my mind when I'm out and about.
For sure. That's very natural and very normal. And, well, hopefully as you get stronger, we'll be able to overcome some of that fear a little bit.
Okay.
How about any heartburn, diarrhea, vomiting?
No.
Any change in appetite recently?
Mm-mm.
How about, have you had any great increase in weight or loss of weight?
Nope.
Great, good to hear. Incontinence, any challenges with that?
No problems.
Okay, are you sexually active?
Well, probably not as much as I'd like to be.
Yeah.
But
Is that due to pain or anything like that?
Oh no, just because I'm old.
Okay, sounds good. All right. How about, anything generally that we haven't spoken about that you feel like I should be aware of as your therapist?
No, it seems like you're pretty thorough.
Okay, great. And, lastly, we just want to, what are some of your goals? What are you hoping to accomplish from our time together?
Well, I figure since y'all are physical therapists, you can help me become stronger, put me on an exercise program of some kind that might be appropriate for my medical conditions. But I just want to kind of get back to feeling like I did a couple of years ago without this fear of falling.
Okay, well, we can work on that. Well, let's move on to the evaluation phase of our assessment here.
Okay. Perfect.